David Foote, how's it been so far at APlus? Big standout.
Jackson, it's just once again, the mood here is really, really good. Bubbling on, crowds are fantastic. The mix of displays this year is really, if you have a look at the ag data, you have a look at the climate, just come out of the ag room for about 15 different companies with climate and carbon solutions, which is really both interesting but also, I guess, confusing. People don't mind having a look at the bloody cattle crush and you work out where the handle works in your situation or where the head bale is going to be good on your cows. But this world and field of science and carbon is still a little bit confusing. And they got to probably do that better. So that's just my standout, and obviously the crowds here. Sensational rubber bank dinner last night. The speech from Tracy Haynes, reliving the live export ban under Minister Ludwig in the presence of Prime Minister Albanese and Minister Murray Watt. Absolutely noise-free zone, captured the whole hearts and said anything that probably people wanted to hear, except probably the Prime Minister and Minister Watts at the time. But wonderful delivery. I actually don't think there's probably any other person in the room that would have had the courage to have actually delivered the message that Tracy delivered last night. And that will be a standout, I think, for a lot of people as a memory of what this 2024 has.
Of course, the Prime Minister's here offering cash, $512 million for some climate resilience fund. Is it the sort of stuff that you think that the industry's going to go, oh great, he's here supporting us?
Well, the easy answer is yes, it's a statement. Is it a new 512? Is it something that's already been in an existing program, such as the farmer resilience, as the drought or the drought package? And the whole thing comes back to, back in 2021, Minister Littleproud launched this fantastic amount of money for biosecurity, and then we come and change the government and we've got a new biosecurity levy. Now, one would have thought that the 810 million promise might have been able to cover off. Cattle's got to come up with 50 million this year. So you're always with a grain of salt, and they need something on the day to appease a crowd that generally is not their side of politics, Jackson. But there'll be something in there new that will help. I mean, there's a great speech this morning by Professor Lillian from Ireland, who said their government paid for each of their farmers to benchmark their businesses. And that would be a really useful start and save a lot of arguments of where industry is today, and therefore it's a lot easier to set targets and goals for the future if you measure it.
Now, you've been trying to change the debate around carbon, change the debate around methane versus carbon emissions. Are you feeling there's some traction with that?
I think what we're hearing is there are more people thinking like Cattle Australia. And in fact, the Irish expert this morning he's actually dual reporting on both the global warming measures of GWP 100 plus star, because science has been split on it and there's agreement for both, and there's just waiting for the IPCC to come down with what is the final measure that is in agreement. So we just got to understand, because it's about carbon, it's not about methane, and we just got to have that education process through, and let's get everybody to agree and go forward, because we are not the enemy. We've got to work out how to sell this solution across the chain.
Let's talk about some of the recent sort of trips you've been doing. So you've been going around the world, doing a bit of discovery tours. What are you seeing around there, and also what's the market doing at the moment?
Okay, around the world's probably a bit hard, mate. It was just straight into the deserts of Dubai under 2 foot of water, which is quite a unique proposition to have a rain bomb in Dubai. And then spent 10 days in Denmark doing the circular economy there. And we've spoken at government level, industry body level, research level, and the corporate level, and not dissimilar to Australia. The message in between is lost somewhere. There are the big Danish milk company Arla and the big pork company Danish Crown, who are actually having practical applications of, are slightly in different directions to what the policy is and where the food. Denmark has that lucky position, similar to Australia. They produce 3 times more food than their population requires. So they've made deliberate decisions. They're cutting 10% of their agricultural production land out and rewilding it. They're doing various other methods. They believe that plant-based proteins are going to save the world's problems in food. Quite clearly, the dairies and Danish crown pork are not quite the same on that. So but their leadership in recycling and recovery is unbelievable and should be a model for everybody to go down at least that path without challenging the animal agriculture that they are actually falling away from pretty quickly.
And the market, what do you reckon about the market?
Mate, wherever I've come back through Europe, Europe's soft, demand's weak, food service is slow, came into Asia last week, it's the same, it's not bubbling along, it's just people not buying in front of themselves because the market's been volatile. China actually is ultra soft, and there's so much of the world relying on China to soak up its volumes. Even the South Americans, as recent as last week, are complaining about price drops that China's offering them. And their cost of goods generally is about half of what quality Aussie beef is. So the bright spot at the moment is Middle East and the US, and effectively that's all to do in the US with their herd dynamics and their burger trade. So that's still great for Aussie farmers, but we are 70% reliant on exports. Aussie dollar where it sits is helping. But I just don't see anything jumping out of its skin to soak up any. If we increase our production by 20%, I think it would come under pressure of price.